Welcome to Jurassic World. Yep, here it is, my review of Jurassic World. This is the fourth Jurassic Park movie, and I'm going to tell you what I liked about it, what I didn't really like about it, and some interesting thoughts on it. Things that I saw, noticed, and things that I didn't notice that my family noticed when I watched it with them. So, here we go. What I liked about the movie. First of all, they really made you feel like the park had been open for quite some time. And it really did feel like this was a destination, a real amusement park in a sense, in both the good and the bad. And I'll get into the bad a little bit later. But when I think about the movie, first of all, I think about the park itself, Jurassic World, and some of the scenes where people are interacting with the dinosaurs, and you see like you saw in the trailer, that big aquatic dinosaur jumping up, eating the shark in the air, like you would see Shamu do at SeaWorld. It was pretty cool, and there were some scenes where you saw the humans interacting with the dinosaurs very peacefully, and I thought, man, that looks really cool. If that was me at like 8 or whatever, and I was able to go to something like that, I totally would have done something like that. And there's that sort of things really put you into the position where, yeah, man, this place really did open and not have any problems yet. Yeah. Also, I liked Owen, Chris Pratt's character in this. He was serious. I think he was a little bit more serious in this one than he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. But it worked, and he was also funny in it as well. He's got great comedic timing. The things he says when he's supposed to be funny are hilarious, and when he's serious, you really feel like he's trying to keep the people alive, and it's a good thing. And you want that person who you believe he's there to try and protect the people, not just, oh, I'm an action hero just to be an action hero. So I really like Chris Pratt's character. Bryce Dallas Howard, she was okay. I'll get into a little bit more about her later. And she was definitely a bit of a cliche, but I did like the scene with her later on where she's basically comforting a dinosaur. So I'm trying not to spoil too much if you haven't seen it yet, but she was half and half for me. I thought she was pretty good in most scenes. And I'll get to other scenes that I didn't like later on. Also, I thought the two kids, you gotta have kids in these movies that are being endangered from dinosaurs. I thought the older one was pretty good for the most part. The younger one, I'll get into him later. Also, there are some really cool scenes that, even though this movie isn't PG-13, it was graphic. It was graphic and not the blood shooting all over the place. There's only really one scene where you see quite a bit of blood. Other than that, it's more of a suspense, kind of like a slasher movie. And there's one scene, I'm going to try and do my best not to spoil it. I want to say it's POV and not just from the human's perspective. That's all I'm going to say. If you watch the scene, you'll know what I'm talking about, and it's a really good scene. And it really shows you can be graphic and violent without having blood shoot all over the place. And it's all you have to do is just put it in your head, and it worked beautifully. And the earlier scene where they first encounter the I-Rex, I think they call it, it was really good. And I really like in these sort of, it's a monster movie, to be honest. And I like in monster movies the reveal. You do a good reveal of the monster, and boom, it's a way to hook the audience in. And the way they revealed the monster was done pretty well, I thought. So all in all, in that sense, it was a good execution. I did like this new monster, this new dinosaur. Well, it really is a monster, especially the way it was created. This hybrid dinosaur, you splice a bunch of different things together and you have no control over it. So I like that. I like this new monster because, like I said, that's what it is. Also, I did like they addressed the issues of the first part. Say, hey, we're not going to talk about that because we don't want to remind people what happened 20 years ago. So I did like they mentioned it, and not trying to spoil anything, but you may see some things related to the first movie. And the interesting thing is that this movie seems to be a reboot in a sense that it only focuses on the first movie. 2 and 3 in this timeline don't exist. It's just like Terminator Genesis, where it only focuses on 1 and just branches out from there. Just like Jurassic World, you have 1 and then 2 and 3 are in this timeline, and then Jurassic World is in this timeline. And I think that's a good way to go, because trying to put all of it together in one movie, and not to mention all the crap that happened in the first 3 movies, would be like, okay, so how the hell did this park actually get open after those 3 disasters? So, yeah, I think it was a good call just to make it its own thing, make it a separate timeline. So, props on that. And I did like how they brought back Dr. Wu from the first Jurassic Park movie to try and explain, okay, you know all those internet comments that talk about, oh, well, you know, if you had actually known about genetics, you know that dinosaurs didn't have all these things on them. But he said, look, none of the stuff we do in the park is exactly how it was. And I like how they address, it's kind of like, look here, morons. We know this is not how they were, but think about it. If you have DNA deteriorating over time, you have to fill the gaps in a sense. And that was a good scene in that. And when they talk about it, Dr. Wu talks about that. And so I really liked it. I thought the relationship with Owen and the Raptors was an interesting one. And I like the fact they only had 4 of them in the movie, because it would have been like, why the hell would you even want these things? They're intelligent. They could break out and start eating people. But they explain why they have the Raptors on the island and why they only have 4. They're smart enough to only have 4. So that's what I like about it. Now, what I didn't like about the movie was, let's start with the kids. Alright, the younger one, he annoyed the crap out of me for a good half of the movie. This kid was like the worst part of the kids from the first movie. Yeah, the little know-it-all who can't just shut up and is always got to show how much of an encyclopedic knowledge he has about virtually everything. Yeah, I did not like that kid at all, especially in the first half. He kind of a little redeemed himself in certain parts, but other than that, yeah, he was no good. Was he as annoying as the first 2 kids in the first movie? No, not by a long shot. Those 2 kids in the first movie were a lot more annoying than this younger kid was in this movie. But he was still pretty annoying. Not to mention trying to force us to care about him with this whole, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But they say something about their family situation that, to me, is like, I don't care. It doesn't make me care about you more. It just doesn't. Now, as far as Bryce Dallas Howard, I thought it was, like I said, she was cliche. And at points she was too cliche, and I thought, yeah, she's not as good in this scene as she was in the other scenes. Also, Crowbar. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm talking about. It's got to happen. Unfortunately, it has to happen. But I'm almost willing to forgive it, because they make fun of that same sort of situation where we gotta survive, we gotta do something, and then you see the two people just make out for no damn reason. But they make fun of that, and it was hilarious, I gotta say. Also, I mentioned I liked a lot of the deaths in the movie and how they were executed, except for one. One was excessive, I gotta say. And this is coming from a sadist, alright? I'm a sadist, but I gotta say, that scene was excessive. And this is something I didn't notice about the movie. My brother told me about it. We were discussing it later, and he said, hey, did you notice that there's a woman that dies in this movie is the first time a woman has ever died or been eaten in one of these Jurassic Park movies. And I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And apparently they said, well, this is going to be the first one that's going to be killed in our movie. We might as well make it special, man. That thing went on too long. I thought it was excessive. But it's definitely a memorable death, that's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely memorable, but man, I think it could have been cut a little bit. Yeah, I may be smiling, but I still think it was a little excessive. Also, the final fight between the dinosaurs, that's what I want to say, the dinosaurs and the monster, I liked it. I thought it was fun, but unfortunately, it was. How do I explain this? The dinosaur team getting taken down at times was a little too fast, I thought. That's all I gotta say about that. I would like to see more of the dinosaurs stick around because we had a little bit of a relationship with them through Owen. So we knew about them. We kind of like, oh man, what's gonna happen? So yeah, I thought it could have been longer, or at least they could have survived a little bit longer before the monster kills them. So also the whole idea of, like I said, and I spoiled this, so I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. No, I'll let you be the judge of whether or not you think the idea of what they want to do with the Raptors is a good idea or not. I'm on the fence about it. I think it's a bad idea, to be honest. I was on the fence for a little bit and thought, no, it's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea. So one interesting things I noticed was how they made this about the park itself, and then the humans were enjoying it as well as you saw chaos on the side. So that way you say, oh man, this park was actually functional until they decided to do this BS and do something really stupid. Also, of course, they got to, for some reason nowadays, movies have to set up for a sequel. And if you notice, if you go back and watch the first Jurassic Park movie, they don't do that. There is no scene where it sets up for Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, or Jurassic Park 3. So I don't know why they decided for this one that they had to have some means to go for a sequel. I guess they want to do a franchise with this, but I think they should have just let the fans decide that we want this to be a franchise or not. But all in all, what do I think about it? I enjoyed it. It's a really good monster movie. It's not a dinosaur movie. It's a monster movie. But I enjoyed the park itself, and I did like some of the fun action sequences. Were there a lot of cliches? Yeah, there were quite a few cliches in this movie. But I was able to get past them for the most part and just enjoy the movie. And also, I know that this was not trying to be Jurassic Park, the first one. It just wasn't going to be. So I just went in trying to see if I was going to enjoy this movie as it is. And I did. I think recommendation, red box it or rent it first, just to check to see if it's for you. So, and then, if you like that sort of thing, definitely buy it. I probably would buy it at some point. Who knows? Alright, that's all I got. What did you think of Jurassic World? Did you like it? What's your favorite monster movie? I know I called the new one a monster, so what's your favorite monster movie? Let me know. So, I don't have any more reviews coming up. I do have, my next video will be a top 5. But until then, bye.